under a lot of pressure. I never really felt like they went there to try and win the game. It was more of a survival tactic more than anything. But look, from everything we said before the game, they were quite tough to play against, I suppose, today. And you have to take into account the midweek fixtures, especially. I think from Villa, big lift against Bayern Munich, winning that game, big atmosphere, and they struggled to really live up to that today. And you could see they probably suffered a little bit. And again, for Manchester United to go away in Europe is difficult on a Thursday night, and a tough game against Porto with 10 men for some of the game as well. So I think the game probably reflected the midweek that both clubs had.
Neither deserved to win that for you?
No, I don't think so. No one did enough. The game lacked life. I suppose that suited Manchester United more than it suited Aston Villa. Definitely a hangover from Europe as far as Villa are concerned. Just towards the end there, they started moving the ball with a little bit more tempo, and you could see they were starting to get on top. But yeah, I think that's a fair reflection of the game. No one did enough to take 3 points away.
Yeah, Villa, perhaps understandably, Tim, after Wednesday, didn't quite have their usual spark today.
No, they didn't. Certainly in the final third, never had that little bit of magic. I think they're suffering at the moment with the injuries, what they're picking up. Disrailing their season, unfortunately. But see Ruud there, clapping the fans, going over there. Perhaps he wants an endorsement from them. Maybe he might be the next man in charge. But who knows? It is a good point for United. But that's where we are in regards to Man United. We're saying it's a good point away at Aston Villa. Yeah, that's where we are at the moment with them, unfortunately.
OK, not the most classic game we were watching in the Premier League, but United will take the point and the clean sheet, and our good friend Peter Schmeichel.
Maybe not perfect, but better today from Manchester United?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it wasn't perfect. We didn't probably pass the ball as well, but we would have liked to. But we got a point against a good side, away from home. And the other night conceding 3 goals, we wanted to be a bit more, maybe defensive minded and make sure that we didn't concede to give ourselves a chance. And we're looking for maybe that one sort of moment of quality or counter attack that we nearly got at the end. But fair play to Villa. I thought they were a good team and they played well today.
Yeah, like you say, they are a good team. But defensively, did you feel pretty comfortable? There was a real late scare, wasn't there? But generally, pretty comfortable?
I think they've got good players, so you're never comfortable. And Ollie Watkins and playing on the shoulder, and he's aggressive. Very good player. So you've always got to be on your toes and ready. And we had to make it tight today and not try and give them too much space. And I think we did that well.
And do you have to? I'll just have to word this right, but as the years tick by for you personally, do you have to adjust how you deal with players like Ollie Watkins when they're on the shoulder?
I don't think so. I still feel like I'll play the game I always have, and I just try and play my game, and I still feel like I've got a bit of speed in the legs to get me out of those moments. So while I've still got that and feel like I've got that, I'll just play the same way.
Look, I know you love putting your body on the line for this football club. What has this week been like, sort of pressed into service on Thursday night and then starting the game again today? I wonder when the manager told you.
I know he told me after the game the other night, but I think even the match against Porto, I wasn't expecting to come on at all. Victor's coming back from injury, back on the bench, and it's unlikely that you're ever going to make double centre back substitutions, should I say. But to come on, I just enjoy every moment I'm out on the pitch now, and every game I go into, I just get you just have that buzz for it. You really appreciate it, enjoy it, and try and make the most of it.
And I'm sure you'd be the first to say Manchester United, when things are going well, best club in the world to play for. But when it's like how it's been,
still is.
Still.
Yeah, I mean, it's a privilege to play for this club, and I've had a long affiliation with it. So for me, there's no other answer to that. And I think with the pressures that come with it, it's also it's a part of it, and it's a privilege too. And you can see the fans, at the end there, the way they travel, and the support that they've given the team. I have to say, they have supported the players massively over the years, and it's great to see, and all the love that they give us.
Yeah, and talking of those pressures, credit to the manager today, the performance he got out of you, the way he set you up to get a result at a really tough place.
Yeah, and it was great for him to see that. He was, the other night, he got a bit, you could see it on him, the emotion of letting that game sort of slip away, and how big a game it was. So to go out there and sort of put in a performance for him, you could see that everyone was running themselves into the ground, and was able to make the substitution to bring lads on to freshen it up. And I'm pleased for him that he got a half decent result today.
So one last thing to do. You were saying off camera, this is the first one you've ever won, you think?
I think it might be the second, and Bruno donated one to me last season, so sorry.
Well done. Johnny Evans, player of the match.
Thank you very much.
Well played.
Cheers.
Well, they might have problems scoring goals, but only Liverpool have kept more clean sheets this season than Manchester United. And you've played with him second time round. You know what he's like. Is it important to have the way he speaks there and knowing the club, long affiliation with it, to have a little bit of that? They've lost McTominay, still in and around that dressing room.
Yeah, I think it is, and we're just saying now that Johnny knows the way of Manchester United. 36 years of age, I think he is, and you got to give him every credit. He was good today. There's just something that feels a little bit wrong about it to me, to have a player who's come back after so long. He just came to train with the team to keep fit, and another year later is Manchester United's best centre half. That tells you that something isn't quite right. And look, Man United are 14th in the Premier League, so that also tells you something is not quite right. But I do agree with that. I think they were a lot better organised today. They look more difficult to play against, more difficult to break through, which usually happens. It's normally quite wide open. But Mainu, and I thought Eriksen next to him as well, gave him a really solid platform. But I also think they were helped by Villa's game on Wednesday. I think it was a little bit of a flat game from Aston Villa. And as I said before, I think United just tried to survive in the game. He also said there as well, we were organised, compact, and just hoping we could get a goal on the counter-attack, which Manchester United, you think you'd have a little bit more than that, a little bit more.
You don't like to hear that, do you, from a United player?
No, a bit of hope, yeah, but that's where we're at with Man United at the minute. That's why they're 14th in the Premier League, because they're not good enough to put the full package together. Let's say they can do one thing and maybe be gung-ho and create chances, not always take the chances, or they can sit back like they have done today and just try and survive in the game and try and hope that something will happen on the counter-attack, or they get a free kick with Bruno hitting the bar.
From a managerial point of view, in United's current state today, has Johnny Evans helped with that experience, that know-how of the club?
Yeah, from Ten Hag's point of view, he certainly has, but it's game to day, game to game, which it shouldn't be. We saw Sir Jim Ratcliffe up there, Jason Wilcott's up there. Dan Ashworth's got to make a decision. He's going to live game to game as a Man United manager. Shouldn't be the case. Should be a plan going forward. You're going regressing.
Erik Ten Hag keeps telling us there is, and it's calm behind the scenes, and everyone's
stick
on the
to the
same
plan,
page.
he says. But I would say to him, what is the plan? And I'm sure the managers don't know the plan. If we know the plan, we can stick to it. But give us a clue what the plan is. You've been there two years. It's not. You've not been there 5 minutes. You keep saying, "Judge me at the end of the season." I wish we all could say that as manager. Judge me at the end of the season. Maybe I wouldn't be sitting here.
We'd miss you.
Unfortunately, you don't get that time. Certainly not as a Man United manager. Reality is, as a football manager, you win football matches or you get yourself sacked, and you take the brunt of the criticism. That's part and parcel of the job. We can all moan about it, and we can all have self-preservation interviews and try and protect ourselves and blame injuries. And he signed 16 players, Steve. He spent gazillions of pounds. 7 of the 9 substitutes are his signings today. Big money signings. Some of them never got a kick at a football. 5 of the starting 11 are his signings. That is his squad. Show us something different, and rely on me going back to Johnny Evans, a 40-year-old centre half.
36, just to quantify.
He looks 40 today. After the game, he looks 40. Is that all he is?
36.
No, he's a young man. I mean, I think it's disrespectful we keep talking about his age. I mean, he done well there today. I mean, he marshalled there. I mean, I think Watkins would have got more of a kick at the ball if De Ligt was playing against him today. And what I've seen from De Ligt, all right, he's got to settle into the Premier League. But stop all the excuses. He's got to settle. He's got the injuries. It's not my squad. Yes, it is your squad. You haven't got the injuries as much now. Everyone picks up injuries. We see with Aston Villa. Start performing. Start showing us a plan. Keeps talking about the plan. Show us the plan. And then we know if it's progression. We don't see any progression. Sometimes, let's use Jurgen Klopp. I know it's a rival of Manchester United. When he first came, it didn't happen for him straight away at Liverpool, but we could see there was a playing style of what he wanted to do, and the implementation was easy, and the signings were being brought in as Jurgen Klopp players. We could see it. It was clear. It's like, say it again, it's very difficult to scout for Manchester United because you don't know how the manager wants to play. Almost an impossible job to recruit, as it's being shown. You talked about not scoring goals. Yeah, they haven't won a game in 5 there. That's not Manchester United. They're 14th in the league. Yeah, you can stop. It's a team stopping getting relegation to keep clean sheets. That's what they do, getting numbers behind the ball and work hard and try and keep a clean sheet and aren't relying on him. You don't score goals because you're not creating enough. And also, you haven't got enough centre forwards. They've got one centre forward at the football club. Xerxes is not a centre forward. I don't know what he is at the moment. Hoyland's a centre forward. He's had injuries. He's coming back in. But he's not the answer. If you cannot produce a Hoyland in your academy, then you need to close your academy, in my opinion. He's not top draw. He's not Manchester United. Where are the days when they're still spending the money, by the way? Where are the days when Manchester United Football Club went to Tottenham and say, we're taking your best player, Harry Kane. We're going to. They did it time and time again. They took Michael Carrick, they took Berbatov, took Teddy Sheringham. You know, not only Tottenham, but all the top clubs. They're not at that level.
Got over it, Tim. Anyway, so
they're not. They're not there at the moment, Steve. It's just. Living, we go back to it. Where we started this conversation was living game to game. You can't live game to game as a Man United football club. Them owners need to look at that and they need to make a decision.
That's where they're at, Paul, isn't it? They are at a week-to-week, game-to-game situation at the moment.
Yes, because they're not performing. I think Tim's right. I think in forward areas especially, I just don't think the quality's there. We go back to the most successful teams, they're capable of scoring goals. What we scored? 5 goals now, maybe?
Only Southampton, fewer.
5 goals in 7 games, whatever it may be. Now, we had 3 or 4 forwards who could get you 20 goals. So you're looking at 80 goals a season there. I just don't see that in the forward line of Manchester. Look, Hoyland does all right, but is he going to score you 20 goals? I don't think so. Xerxes, as Tim said, what is he? Is he a number 9? Is he a number 10? Is he going to get you 20 goals? I don't think so. I think they're relying more on hope than actual proven quality. And as Tim said, they spent so much money as well. It's a ridiculous amount of money, and some of them can't get in the team. You think of Ugarte coming into the club, he was supposed to change the way the midfield was. He didn't play him. De Ligt, 50 million. Was it 50 million? Didn't play him. Johnny Evans is coming in as a 36-year-old instead of him. Martinez, he brought him into the club. What's he thinking today? Johnny Evans is playing. Maguire started.
Even Lindelof came on.
Well, that's what I said. Maguire started. Lindelof comes on before him. It's just a mess of a recruitment mess, really. But as Tim said, when you don't have a style of play, you don't know how to play, or the way you want to play, it's very difficult to choose players. Like Liverpool's was quite simple to buy for, because you know what they're going to do. The 4-3-3. You can recruit for that, but when you don't have a style of play, you don't know how you're going to play. It changes from week to week. You just almost throw in balls in the air and say, yeah, he looks a good player, we'll try and get him. But
he knows a lot of them.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of Ajax, but the quality's different. This isn't Holland.
The game's different.
He's got the best in Holland, of course he is, but in the Premier League, the best in Holland isn't good enough for England.
£540 million he spent as Manchester United manager. 0-0 then. United have drawn at Villa Park. Next up...